What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Panda here, and today I bring you some very interesting news for Knighthood. I don't want to say it's good because we don't really know if it's good or not. If you haven't already seen, I posted this Facebook link from the Knighthood Game Group's Facebook page, where we had a very long post about the bounty board and the roaming monster system in general. Now, I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I will leave a link to the Facebook down below. You can also check out images of this in the Discord, which will also be linked in the description as well, that you can check out. I went ahead and took screenshots and put it on my Facebook for those who didn't have a Facebook page. So I want to read just a couple portions of this and kind of go over what exactly this means. And then I want to talk a little bit about my thoughts on this and maybe what I want to see in the future when it comes to the roaming monster system. So it says here in this first paragraph that the old roaming monster system was okay. It was very grindy and relied on you having a lot of patience and a lot of luck. The people who engaged with it over the long haul quite liked it, and thanks to all of you. But far more people just quit, and the data proved it. So I personally have not seen a single person complain about the old roaming monster chest system. I will say that it was a system that required you to be on a lot and, play the game a lot. There was a lot of activity required to be super successful with that system. However, it also allowed you to play whenever you wanted. So if you could play for 20 minutes every, 4 hours, then you could get a decent amount of rewards. Or if you could play for an hour a day or 2 hours a day, you could get roughly the same amount, because you could do it at any point throughout the day. Now with the new system, we're required to be on at certain parts of the day. Now that of course has changed a little bit slightly with the removal of boss monsters from those lists of bounty board options, but realistically it still requires you to be checking every 30 minutes, an hour, if you want to be lucky enough to get the 30-minute spawns that you need. But let's keep going on. So it says here that we planned a new system. We looked at what we had in the chest and designed something that would let you see the rewards in advance. Our intentions were to avoid changing how much legendary/unique gear entered the economy over time, but to lessen the grind and put more of the control and the choice in your hands. Now this sounds really good. I love a game that allows us to pick what we want or choose the way we progress. However, I don't think they quite hit the mark, and I think most of you guys would agree. It says here, note 1, I got impatient, dropped 4 Demon Blues. This is just talking about the frustration RNG that we have, which we've all seen. I've seen personally. And note 2 explains just why they're telling you, okay? They are not planning on returning old roaming monster chest system in their original form. It's just not something they want to do. So here is what we talk about in the evolution section. So it says they have seen some proof of them listening in the past week. I would say this is relatively true. I don't think they were super effective with the changes that they made this last week, but it did show that they were listening, that they were, we were complaining about not having boss monsters show up. I think that the better way to fix it would have been to have the boss monsters spawn at a specific time or with a certain time in between, like all of the 8 o'clock bosses would spawn once every 3 days instead of having a 33% chance to spawn. I think that would have been the more realistic way to do it. But they did listen, right? They are basically saying that no more systematic changes will be happening until the next major update in July, but they are looking at adding some smaller changes quickly. And what this looks like, let me see if I can find it here exactly. But what this looks like is bringing back chests in a different form. So here it says, in the long term, several weeks at least, we are considering just putting back some chests in some form. Now, there's no guarantee what this means, and this is one of the portions where I would like to talk about, what I would like to see, what I want this to mean for us. What I would like this to be is I would like this to be one of two things. I would like to see the boss monsters, the ones that spawn periodically, to have a chest that has a very good reward. And when I say very good reward, I'm talking a purple, or even a unique potentially, and that allows us to get a very good piece of gear periodically. And maybe if, they don't want to increase too much, we put a cap on it. So you can get 3 of these special roaming monster chests a week or something. I want to have the boss monsters be important, but I don't want it to be locked. So like, for example, the ancient one will have the same rewards as one of the other bosses that spawns at the same time frame, so that no matter which boss spawns, you still can get that reward. I personally would like to not see a weekly cap, but if that's something that they have to do to keep this idea of a limit on the amount of unique and purple gear that gets initiated into the system, then I would be okay with that. The other option, and I think that this option is actually better, would be to similar idea, but instead of gear from this, we actually just get a charm. I would like to just see charms of at least blue or higher quality drop from this chest. And maybe even what we do is you get like 3 charms, and you have a set percent chance to get a blue, a purple, or a unique from these chests. I personally think that would be a great way to, increase the charm quality that we're allowed to get, but also make it so we're not getting a ridiculous amount of charms, right? So if you put say you can get 1 of these chests a week, then you're able to get 3 charms a week, and even if that's 3 blue charms, that's still 3 blue charms. That's more charms than we were able to farm before, I think, probably realistically, and I mean definitely more than I was able to farm realistically, and it's definitely more than we have access to now, unless you're just dismantling all of your bounty board gear. We'll have to see what this means, but I think that that's definitely a good way to kind of solve both of the issues, because I think that right now our gear is probably at a point where it doesn't need to be upgraded immensely. Obviously, of course, it can be. I think the biggest issue we have right now is charms, in my personal opinion. But let's keep looking down here and see what exactly this means. It does say here that we're also discussing potential options for the biggest, rarest roaming monsters, but I'm less confident there, so I need everyone to wait and see. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. We get that extra chest with either a purple or unique piece of gear or charms, right? What are the odds? So this is something that I'm actually very interested in seeing. Personally, with the new week, I have not seen a single purple on my own. I have seen some people link purples and uniques, but much less than the previous week, or weeks even. So we'll have to see what those odds are, and this I think explains a little bit. So it does say in here, in other words, we've set up a kill X once, kill Y twice, etc., right? And it explains in here that you actually it is reliant on how far you have gotten in the story. So, like, if you are like myself and you have not killed Infernalis yet, you need to sit down and kill Infernalis, because that's actually going to update you to a higher tier, giving you a higher chance of getting better gear from the bounty board. This may be one of the reasons why I haven't seen a purple or even a unique, because I haven't actually beaten Infernalis. And it says it in here somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it says, but it does say in here that Infernalis is one of the requirements. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. So, so unique rewards begin appearing on White Peak roamers when you've defeated Kren Rockjaw, but are more likely in Realm of Fire once you have defeated the Infernalis. So that is one of the big ones. So definitely recommend, wherever you are, try to push to the next big boss if you want to increase your bounty board rewards. So I'm going to be aiming to try and beat Infernalis this weekend for this next reset, so I can hopefully get some purples, potentially even a unique in this next week's bounties. I think that is most of the important things. I do want to just talk about what I would really like to see. I think one of the biggest things I would like to see is an increase in the amount of bounties that we can do. With the fact that now we are able to realistically, if we're lucky enough, clear an entire bounty in an hour, I think that, there is a lot of people complaining that they're completing the bounty board too fast, right? And so I think that being able to have access to more bounties throughout the week is going to help a lot. Maybe we up it to something like at least 10. I would like to see maybe 15, you know, because that gives us a lot more. So even if we're getting 15 blues, you know, we're still not getting an incredible amount of gear. You know, 15 blues is what, 3 purples? You know, and even if we're getting half of those as purples, I mean, we're still looking at about, you know, 1 unique a week, which really is not a huge increase, I think, especially with the RNG of charms. So personally, I'd like to see an increase in the bounty board weekly cap, right? I know I personally was able to complete 5 of the 7 in like the first 3 days, and then I haven't really been paying super close attention recently, so I'm still stuck at 5, but I'll complete 6 and 7 probably, you know, in a couple days. No issues, definitely before the week is over. But yeah, so that is my opinion for the bounty board. And like I said before, the big roaming monsters, I'd like to see some kind of chest that gives either charms or purple and unique guaranteed gear. I think that is a good way to sort of appease the players. One of the big things that they did say here that I didn't talk about yet, because I don't think it's a good way to appease the players, is they are thinking about actually bringing back roaming monster chests for everybody, but with only common items. And I don't like this. I think that this is not something that is going to appease the people. I mean, the people, you know, did it before because they wanted to craft their gear, they wanted to be able to get higher level charms, and I just don't feel like people are going to want to take grays to turn them into greens, you know, and then take those greens and turn them into blues, you know, to get charms. I don't think that that's realistic, and so I think that having roaming monster chests for just the bosses, you know, that have a really good drop chance, I think is a good way to limit the amount of purple and unique gear that's in the system, but also, you know, give us our roaming monster chests back. I want to know what you guys think, so hit me up in the comment section down below with what maybe you guys would like to see, if you agree with me or if you disagree with me. You know, let me know. I want to start a thought process here for everybody and see what everyone thinks, because at this point they haven't really given us a for sure, this is what we're doing, A, B, C, D, whatever. And I think that, you know, this is definitely a chance for us to influence them into what, you know, we are looking for. So in the comment section down below, put it in there. On the Facebook page, on this specific one, comment, you know, what you guys want to see from this update, and potentially we'll get what we want. But guys, if you liked this video, please make sure to hit the like button and leave a comment down below like we just talked about. And if you do like this, I normally have the little subscribe thing, but I'm on a different screen on my OBS, so I don't have it today. But you should still subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when my content goes live. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, come back for the next one. Alright guys, enjoy the end screen. Peace.